My name is Brenda, and I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, Robert.
Yes, how are you? And I just want to be real quick. I appreciate your lessons and your teachings very much. It's just so exciting to hear someone that I truly believe is speaking the truth every time I listen in.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And oh, you're welcome. And I've been wanting to ask certain questions for a long time. I wear the Ankh like you do, have been for many, many years. And I used to deal with an elder that I brought a Ankh from. It was a large, really large, it was a bracelet.
Yeah.
And I wore it for, never took it off. It was very sturdy, strong, sterling silver. And I went to bed one night. And when I woke up, probably early in the morning, I heard this noise outside my window that sounds crazy, but sound like a chariot of some kind, something made out of wood,
Mm.
rolling on the side of my house. And so my husband went to the basement thinking someone had broke in and stole maybe a lawnmower or something that rose, but nothing was missing. But when I went to take my shower, the bracelet was missing. And I wondered for many, many years, this happened, probably about 10 years ago now. I just wondered, I know that that bracelet stands for crossing over, for us to cross over. So I was wondering, did a spirit or something come to take it? Um, I never saw the bracelet again.
Mm. I mean, I would only be really speculating, and I can't really speak on, your personal experience. But we do know that we speak about extraterrestrials all the time, and people being abducted, and beings coming and taking things, and they're so advanced that some of them can actually just like freeze or missing time. You will be like, oh, wake up and you're missing time, and you wouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
realize until later on. And you speak to people, and they were like, you might be like, what's today? And they're like, Tuesday, and you're like, I could have sworn today was Monday, or do you know what I mean? Like you're
Yes.
disorientated because something has taken place, and they've just kind of like put you back, and you've carried on without even realizing that what has taken place. So without and yes, when you're dealing with spirits can't really they can move objects, but they can't really well, some of them they're in a different realm and world, so they can't actually operate on the physical other than utilizing beings and people in the physical to do what they would like, or just moving things if they're very powerful. So yes, without going into like speculation, it is possible. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't tell you by looking into a crystal ball or something and say, yeah, this is what happened. But keep studying, keep reading the scrolls, and the one person on the planet that we know that can answer all questions is our master teacher. So just stay on the journey. Eventually, you might have the opportunity where he might be able to tell you if you're ever in his presence and able to. Or the other thing you can try and do is get in tune with your ancestors, communicate with them. If they're on the spirit realm as well, then they might be able to come in your dreams or vision or something and guide you and give you, directions or information to figure it out. And eventually, you will get to know the answer. So I would say just keep looking for those signs. All right.
Okay, well, I certainly appreciate that. And I also have just one other bizarre situation that happened back in 2003, because I've heard you mention certain, I think it was the Anunnaki or maybe Nibiru, maybe from 2003.
Yeah.
Um, I went outside with my two boys at that time because the news kept saying if you go outside, you can see Mars with your naked eye. So I didn't believe them. So something told me about 11 o'clock at night or a little after 11 when they mentioned it. And I said, I'm going to go out here and see if I can see it. And I asked my boys to come out there with me. And we stood there and looked, and right where they said Mars was, this huge figure came from behind that star, the planet Mars, that they said was Mars. And it was this huge creature with wings that was unbelievable. It put you in the mind of if you was just to look at it from the ground, like a pterodactyl. Um, but it wasn't, because when the light, it was so close to that star that you could see the light reflect on its wings, and the wings were like the texture of buffalo hair. It was brown, and on the edges was pure white like snow. And the span of those wings was beyond anything I could have ever imagined. So that I wouldn't scare the boys, because it scared them, because they saw it too. So I asked them to, without discussing it, I said, let's draw pictures of what we saw. And of course, they could draw much better than me. And their pictures were similar to mine, but it was something that was out of this world. And so when you mentioned 2003, and then I read about it, my husband and I have been following Malachi York since 1982.
Wow,
So
that's a long
we,
time.
yeah, it's been phenomenal. Just my whole past, that I see things, and my husband don't quite see things, but he believes me. So we have researched and just gone into our history from that far, because nobody else could give us an answer. So when he was the one that turned me on to your show,
Right.
and I've told everybody about it, of course, but a lot of people are not believers. They really are hooked onto the Christian religion.
Yeah.
And
Sorry to cut you, just because of time.
I
And,
know, I
and
wish I could talk to you off this line.
you can on the Telegram group, or we can do one to ones, and that's fine. But yeah, because we got a lot of questions that people are waiting.
Yes.
What I just wanted to say quickly is, you said a lot of people are not believers. The majority of people are believers and not knowers, and they believe
Yeah.
and they believe, and believing is to not know. So what we're basically saying is that Malachi, Dr. Malachi ZK Yopanabab Yanun has been teaching, and we teach that these, what we call in extraterrestrials, they're in the skies. They live in the skies. They're camouflage. They can shapeshift and take forms and have different types of crafts. So people
Yes.
will visualize or see things in the sky, like, because he wrote a book called Mystery Clouds, Are There UFOs in Our Midst? And he said, look at the sky. Sometimes if you look at the sky, you will see, you know, all kinds of beings that are camouflaging.
Mm-mm.
So that's not impossible to have seen something like that. So yeah, we know, if you've been following him since the 80s. So wow,
Yes.
that's a very long time.
So, that's why I'm so excited. I don't want to take up more of your time, but I am so thrilled that you picked up the phone. And every time I look at your show, I just thank God for your show, you and your staff, for bringing all of these truths to us, because we need it.
Thank you. We definitely do. All right, until the
Yes.
next time, what do for now?
Okay, have a good one.
To tell that.